Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're a day before the Glasgow Derby, Celtic Rangers tomorrow. But yesterday, obviously, the transfer window shut. And one of the most distressing days, one of the days that I was regretting coming up. And a day I knew I would never be looking forward to arrived yesterday. And that is the day that Moussa Dembele left Celtic. Now, on the screen, you'll see around me the frame, the transfer deadline day roundup. Yeah, I was going to make this video yesterday, but I made a video yesterday, so it's today. We're rounding up the transfer business for Celtic. We're going to have a discussion about Mr. Dembele, about the two signings we made, about the transfer window in general and the board, and how I feel like we've conducted our business through this transfer window. I think the first things first, and the obvious that we have to start with, and that is the fact that Mr. Dembele has left Celtic. I'm gutted, well and truly gutted, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Drained after hearing the news last night that we accepted a bid from Lyon, and it was, you know, it was coming, wasn't it, after everything that happened on Twitter. When Brendan Rodgers initially came out and says, look, well, I'm confident of keeping Moussa Dembele at the club, I felt a sense of relief, a sense of happiness that I thought I wouldn't have to turn back on and turn back into regret. And then the whole Twitter fiasco began, and a lot of people may have their opinions on how Moussa Dembele conducted what happened. They may condone his actions. There's a lot of people who have their own opinions towards it. Like, whether Moussa Dembele was in charge of what he was posting and what he was liking on Twitter, whether it was him, whether it was agent, doesn't matter. I'm not going to let it affect my opinion on Moussa Dembele, the football player. I thought he was a marvellous player. One of the best players in my lifetime I've seen play at Celtic Park. He was a fantastic striker, and I think he'll be missed. I think we're going to miss the impact that Mr. Dembele has in the team. I don't feel like fans appreciated that enough. Some fans. There was fans like myself and fans who just didn't appreciate him enough, but I think he was a fantastic player. And he'll be sorely missed by me anyway, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree. In saying that, now we're left with Edouard and Griffiths, who have major jobs and opportunities now to step up. They've got to step up. They've got to show their worth. They've got to prove that they are clinical. They can score goals, and they can be what we need now. The whole plan of having that Edouard Dembele partnership is gone, sadly gone. I'm sure Ncham and Edouard are as heartbroken as me. But he's moved on to Lyon. £20 million, a record for Celtic. We've never brought in that sort of money for a player before. The previous record was what, 13 million for Virgil van Dijk. So I'm sure Mr. Dembele will go on to do big things in his career. I hope he does well at Lyon. I wish him all the best. I've posted my message on Twitter if you've not seen it already. I'm sure he'll have a fantastic career, and I look forward to seeing where he goes. He's still very young. Hopefully he can stay fit. Hopefully he'll have a great career. But I'll always remember some of the great memories he's given us Celtic fans. You know, the Derby Day, Demolition, the goals against Manchester City, the big games in the Champions League over in Paris, scoring there, and goals everywhere. He was just a fantastic player. But he's gone, and enough praising him now. The main question is, why did we wait to the 11th hour of deadline day to sell him without having a fucking replacement? That's the question. Now look, after everything kicked off on Twitter, and after Mr. Dembele made it perfectly clear that he did want to leave the club, fair enough, we never really had many options. We didn't have much to do, but have we not been preparing? Have we not been lining up options? Have we not been looking into a striker that we could have signed even on loan? There was talks last night, I seen on Twitter, of Dominic Salak coming on loan. We left it far too late. We are now left with two strikers at the club. We should have had a replacement. We shouldn't have waited this long. And now we're in a little bit of a shit heap until January when it comes to striker situations. Griffiths and Edouard are two players who can't really stay fit. Let's be honest for a minute. We've got to take that into consideration. And Peter Law and Brendan Rodgers and whoever's been in charge of this whole transfer fiasco with Moussa Dembele have left things rather fucking late. And it's slightly annoying. More than slightly annoying, very annoying. We need a backup. We need someone else. We need another striker. We've got £20 million here now. I expect and I hope for serious investment over the next year in players. Not in disco lights. Not in surfaces, playing surfaces. Not in doing up the front fucking hotel. In the pitch, on the pitch. For players. We need to start using this money on quality players. Will it happen? It's a completely different story. It's a big fucking ask. Because the way we go, I doubt it. But we have just brought in £20 million. Let's fucking live a little, Celtic. Let's go and spend money. Let's buy someone. We need obviously to find someone who's willing to move to the Scottish Premiership. But let's do something. pay wages, pay something, just make people want to play for Celtic. First things first, we need to get back in the Champions League next season for that. But I hope there is serious investment heading over the next year, because Dembele's gone. We have lost a top quality player, like a top quality player, probably the best player at the club. So we need to bring in someone of equal quality to Mr. Dembele, in my opinion. Will we do it? I don't know. I really don't. I don't really know how much faith to have in the board after this transfer window. There was a little bit of hope, a little bit of happiness to be had yesterday when we did make 2 signings. But still, overall, I think Celtic fans would agree in saying it has been a disastrous transfer window. Disastrous. We've lost Dembele. We've lost Armstrong. We've lost Sviatchenko. And all we've brought in is someone who was already at the club last year on a few loan signings. We spent 9 million quid and we've brought in 30. Why is that happening? Why is that a thing? Why are we not spending 30? That's what should be happening. And I know a lot of people might disagree with me, and I can understand why people may disagree with me. It's not easy for a club like Celtic to spend 30 million, because at the end of the day, not everyone wants to play for Celtic. But if we're bringing in 30 million, you expect more an investment in the squad. And it's still a good enough team. We've won back-to-back trebles. I completely understand that. But to improve on a European front, and to ultimately just take the club to the next level, Brendan Rodgers needs players of the next level. Needs to bring in players that could take him to the next level. I'm honestly saying this with 100% seriousness. If things keep going the way they're going, I'm not going to be shocked if Brendan Rodgers walks out the club. I'm not going to be shocked whatsoever. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Don't fucking put words in my mouth. But it just would not surprise me if Brendan Rodgers was to walk out the club, because he came to Celtic to take us to the next level. And he's done a fantastic job. He has taken us to the next level. But European-wise and such, it's still the same. Any manager could come in and just domestically run the country. Brendan Rodgers has done it in a completely different fucking dimension, mind you. He's done it at a new fucking level. But, I mean, still, anyone can really get the league title. Anyway, moving on to the rest of the window. We've spoken about Mr. Dembele enough. Celtic, on the outside of things, we obviously got rid of Armstrong to Southampton. I feel like that was probably a decent move. He only had a year left on his contract. It was good to cash in the money. Plus, I think it was time for him to move on at Celtic. I feel like last year he never really made as much of an impact as maybe we'd like. And 7 million is a decent enough fee for a guy who only has a year left on his contract. So I think we've done well enough there. We brought in some good money, which once again should have been reinvested. And you could say it was in Edouard. But I was hoping we would have brought in John McGinn up front to kind of fill the centre mid void. But obviously he ended up going to Aston Villa. We missed out on that transfer. Still gutted about that. I thought John McGinn would have been a fantastic asset. But Stuart Armstrong off. Eric Sviatchenko sadly left. It's a bad window for players who I really liked. You know, Dembele and Sviatchenko leaving. You know, I loved Eric Sviatchenko. I'm going to get a poster of the two of them up there. Right there. Both of them leaving the club. Sviatchenko though left to go back to the team we signed him from, Midtjylland, or how you fucking pronounce that, I don't even know. Midtjylland or something like that. A player who would have been very useful. Very fucking useful for the last few weeks after the mess that was our backline in Europe. I think he would have played rather well. Don't see why not. And we got rid of him. I don't know why we got rid of him. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers just wasn't a fan. I wish we kept him around though. But I best of luck to him where he goes. I'm sad we did let him go though. And Nadir Chifchi finally left the club. What an absolute pile of shite. Kept my eyes shut for quite an awful fucking bit there. I might just go shite. But I continued. So obviously the news yesterday broke that we signed 2 players. We got Yusuf Malumbu and we got also Filip Benkovic, both on a free, I mean one's on a loan, but Malumbu came in on a free transfer, a fantastic bit of depth there in the centre mid position. I think he'll be good. A lot of people complain about this signing, you know, he's not Celtic quality and such. I think he'll be decent. I think he was a good big player for the teams he's played for, West Brom, Norwich, even Kilmarnock. It was fantastic for them last year, and you can't really complain when it's on a free transfer. He's an experienced guy, 31-year-old, aggressive big player, the kind of player sometimes we need just to see out games and add a wee bit more to the aggression side of things. Sometimes we're a wee bit too soft, I think. So, you know, he comes in, I think he offers a little bit in the middle of the park. He likes to get forward as well. So he's a decent big player, and I think he will add a lot and adds a lot of depth into the middle of the park there. So it's always a good problem to have when you have players, and he's going to be a guy who I don't think is going to be complaining for first team football every week. So you know what, I'm quite happy with the signing of Yusuf Malumbu. I think he will add a bit to the squad, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play when he does get the opportunities. As I said, I think he'll be fantastic for that kind of player who can come on, hold off a game and get us some points, especially in those Europa League group matches when we're kind of slugging it out towards the end, trying to just hold on to points and such. So I think he'll be a good player there. And Filip Benkovic, I have a good feeling about him. I'm happy we've finally brought in a centre half. Obviously we missed out on a right back in this window. That's a topic to be spoke about as well. You know, a right back was probably one thing that we should have looked into and should have got, but a centre half was definitely more important. You know, we're lacking in that area, and obviously Sviatchenko leaving the club meant that we had space. We freed up someone to come in, and Benkovic, on the brink of he just moved to Leicester, sorry, for 13 million quid. So you know, Leicester seen that in him. He looks a good player, and we've managed to take him on loan for a year. So let's hope we can get the best out of him for a year. I think he's a player who is capable of getting into the starting lineup. Obviously, we need to see how he plays first. He's, you know, never played a game for Celtic. I wouldn't start him tomorrow, just for the fact that, you know, he's just arrived. It's a big game to throw him into, but I wouldn't mind at the same time if he was to start the game tomorrow. I don't think he will, but, you know, as I said, I wouldn't mind. I've got a good feeling about him. It's good that we've signed a centre-back, and this guy does like a unit. He has quality behind him, and I mean, if he's getting a move to a team like Leicester in the Premier League for, you know, a substantial fee, you know, I think he will add a lot to the Celtic team, and he will be a decent asset, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Hopefully he's good enough that we can maybe, you know, work out something in the future, like keep him on loan for another year, or even pay money to keep him. But I mean, I doubt we'd get him after him just moving for 13 million quid. So that's probably an unrealistic ask right there. But it's good that we have at least signed a centre back, and two signings coming in. I suppose a glimmer of positivity on deadline day after everything that, you know, we've had to go through with complaining at the board. And I think the majority of Celtic fans right now are in a bit of a situation with the board that we're not happy. I mean, there's no denying Peter Lawwell's a world-class CEO. He's a world-class runner of a football club. Look at the position he has got us into. He landed as a world-class manager. We're winning back-to-back trebles. The reputation of the club is ever enhancing. We're doing all this great stuff to the stadium and shit. We're enhancing every aspect of the club apart from just players in the park. Peter Lawwell is, you know, a fantastic CEO, but he's just stingy when it comes to spending money on fucking players. That's where he needs to get the finger out, because he is a good CEO. There's no denying that. Look what he has done for our club. It's just kind of tarnished him a wee bit this transfer window, and I think a lot of fans, including myself, have took a sort of negative approach to the way we look at the board and look at Peter Lawwell through this window. But I mean, it's all you can really do when you have, you know, a struggle like this, a transfer window like this. As I said, a glimmer of positivity yesterday in those two signings. But why have we sold Mr. Dembele so late in the transfer window? We had no time to replace him. That is the main takeaway from yesterday's whole fiasco. I love that word fiasco. I've used it about 10 fucking times in this video. But aye, the other transfers, obviously, we brought in Bain for a free. We brought in Zagiri again, and we brought in Daniel Arzani on loan. So we brought in a few players. But as you'll see, no money was really spent, was it? Anyway, let me know your opinions towards Celtic's transfer window this summer. I think we're going to get the same general response from the majority of people in how we, you know, talk about the board. I think that's going to be the top conversation starter in the comments, but I'll take it. I'll have a look. I will look through the comments and see everyone's opinions. If you have enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. And tomorrow will be very interesting matchday vlog to be out. Hopefully as soon as possible. I might be going out to get you know, steaming butt. So we'll see. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.